I'm Lexy Davis, a love embodiment coach who helps people create a love that feels like home, and I'm here to bring more romance and playfulness into the world. I'm also an international retreat host, vibe curator, and human connector. I serve people through my business, Alive to Enjoy, and this podcast where I invite guests from around the world to sprinkle their wisdom and expand your perspective so you can create the deepest love you possibly can reach in this lifetime. I also want you to live the most joyous life, whatever that looks like to you, and I hope that this slice of the internet brings you lots of smiles and helps you keep your heart open. Thank you for choosing Heart Snuggles to be in your ears each week, and I'm so glad you're here with me. Hello, Heart Snugglies. It's Lex, and I'm here for a solo episode, which been a little while. I have been through a dark night of the soul this past month. Oh my God. I got to Bali and I had a little rash before I came after living in Laguna. My friend told me about this bioresonance healing. And so I went to it, and it's basically German technology mixed with Chinese medicine, and it measures the frequency of your organs, and it tells you what's happening in your body. And they discovered there was fungus in my stomach, candida, fungus in my skin, and also a parasite in my liver. So I knew I needed to do some deep detoxing, and he told me no sugar, including fruit, including rice, including potatoes, no dairy, no gluten, obviously no fried food. So I was eating vegetables and a little bit of fish. That's it for this past month, which is something I have never done in my life. I've always struggled to stick to diets, but I was so committed because my skin just kept getting worse and worse. And I had this gnarly rash over almost every inch of my body. And it was so itchy, and especially around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I was getting maybe 3 hours of sleep every night, which is something that we all need, but I especially really value my sleep. And I also wasn't allowed to be in heat, and I'm in Bali and it's very hot here every second of the day. And there was just so many things, and I was trying different supplements and coffee enemas and IVs, acupuncture, Reiki, all these modalities to help flush out what was trying to come out of me. And it was just moving so slow. And simultaneously, I was trying to trust the process, and also love myself in this, where my body is it looks different, it feels different to be in my body. I am uncomfortable in my body, and I needed to find that love still in those moments. And so that was also a challenge for me. But today is the first day that I actually am better. And I went to bioresonance again today after my 5th session, and everything is cleared. So everything is detoxed on my body, and I feel so clean and good. And I feel like it was another initiation into me stepping into motherhood, which won't be for a few years probably, but I just feel like this process is beginning now, so that I can create like the best environment for my future babies, which I'm so excited, and I can't wait to meet my future husband. It makes me so happy. And speaking of that, I wanted to dive in today and chat all about how healthy love is one of the most courageous and biggest risks of our life, and how easy it is to be in a relationship that's not going to last forever. A relationship that is it's okay. It ticks some of the boxes. It says you're in a partnership, you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend. But deep down, you know that it ain't it. And you see that happen so much, or I've been hurt a lot in the past, thinking, how could this man reject me and then move on to someone like that? No offense to those other women. However, it was just, I'm a wifey, ready to do everything. We're so aligned. We have all this harmony and connection and the synergy and these crazy synchronicities and this wild love, like holy connection. And yet they chose to reject me and choose someone who was not showing up in nearly a quarter of the ways that I was. And I always took it personal and was feeling like something was wrong with me, until I started to do a little bit more work and self-discovery and realize, oh, that's easier for them to choose that because they don't have to step up to the game. They don't have to show up, and more importantly, they don't have to open their hearts and have a fear of getting hurt. Risk the fact that you might be extremely vulnerable and have no control over what's to come. And healthy, divine, aligned union love is an act of true surrender. You are letting go of all control, and you are committing to the unknown and committing to riding the waves with this person, and more importantly, committing to choose them day after day, because love is a action. It's not just something that is there all the time. You have to choose to love someone again and again and again. And in these healthy relationships, that's when the real work begins, because that safety that is created in the container brings up everything. It brings up all of your relational patterns, all of your trauma, all of the things that have been stored inside your body, because that safety is finally there so that it can come up to be felt. And so in turn, that is scary. And also when you're that open and you actually are committed to loving this person for a long time, there's the biggest risk, because you really, really, truly never know. You have no control if one of you are going to fall out of love, if someone may die, if something may happen, if they may cheat on you. Like, none of this is in our control. However, that's part of the ride. That's part of the joy of saying yes to love, because it's a complete, beautiful, unknown journey, which is so magical, and yet it comes with these things. And so to be in that sort of love, you also have to accept these other things. And so I want to talk about this today because I'm realizing this a lot in my clients, and a lot of my friends are moving through this, where they're actually finding this soul nourishing love, this deep divine love that is something they've never experienced before. And as exciting and joyful that is, there's also this resistance that's coming up within them. There's this there's this temptation to self-sabotage, to close your heart, run the other way, and say, give up, throw in the towel and say, I'm out. See ya. When we're in reality, it's that invitation to lean in. And this is why it's so important to have support in your life, have a coach, because that person, like me, as I'm holding my clients, I can reflect back, hey, that might not be, your mind is taken over here. That's actually not what's happening. And of course, sometimes it is. However, majority of the time, it's not that. So some ways that this is maybe occurring in your life is just noticing what kind of caliber of a person are you actually interacting with? Are you actually dating right now? And if you're in partnership, what is the depth of your intimacy? And is there more deepness? Is there more connection to be felt and reached in your partnership? We'll start off with being single first. So when you're single, are you dating people where your body feels like your nervous system is relaxed in their presence? There's a softening in your tissues versus this tension, constriction, tightening, butterflies in your belly, neck is tight, your throat is closed. Is that energy, or is it oh my gosh, I'm word vomiting every second to you because it feels so safe, and I just feel like I want to be around you all the time, and my heart is open, and I feel so safe in your presence. Those are huge indicators. And sometimes that safety and that comfort can feel boring, quote unquote, to someone that is used to that treacherous, traumatic bonds and relationships. So that sense of boringness can actually mean that it actually is good and safe and stable and secure, which is something we also deeply desire. So first, that's like the biggest indicator that I always ingrain in my clients is, how is your body responding? I think that is the first telltale sign of deciding if you should continue to move forward. And of course, we have trauma and other things in the way. However, once you start to do this work, you start to get more connected to the subtle body and the little tweaks. So it's actually a big difference. Fear versus your truth and your intuition. They feel very different once you're attuned to your own sensations and your own inner knowing, which I help people through. But basically, it's just a practice of connecting with your body and starting to trust it in smaller moments. When you, for instance, driving, this is one of my favorite ways. It's taking a new route, but when you're going or just driving a fun way, just following your intuition. Which way should you go? Should you go that way or that way? Or let's say you're at the grocery store and you're trying to decide what to eat, like checking in. Does this one feel good or does that feel good? And then when you go home and you eat and you check in with your body, did my body actually like that or not? If you got it wrong, it doesn't mean you're bad and you're the worst and your intuition doesn't work and all and you go down that. No, 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 no. It just means, all right, that wasn't the right choice. Next time, I'm going to try again and hopefully get it right. And the more you can practice using this tool in those small moments, the more you can trust yourself in those bigger moments. Like, I think the most important decision of your life is who your life partner is going to be. So when you can continue to build the trust with yourself, you can so quickly activate that and feel into that energy when you're dating. And this is really essential because you can save yourself so much pain by making these choices early at the beginning. And also, once again, let's say you make the wrong choice and this person is your person. What is meant for you will not miss you, baby. I promise. I fully believe. Maybe you don't believe in that, but I 100,000,000% believe. And you just can't fuck it up. You can't fuck it up. And yes, you can take a slower path, but you're still gonna get there if this is your divine lover. So you don't have to worry about that. The next piece of seeing if this is a healthy, good relationship is, are you guys aligned in your future visions and your values? And no, you don't need to have all the values the same. However, if you want kids and they don't want kids, that's a pretty big misalignment. However, I've also seen friends who didn't want kids and then they actually found that safe love and they changed their mind. But going down your values list and really aligning, if you're a traveler and you're always wanting to explore the world and this person doesn't travel and always stays home, is that going to work for you? Is that going to satisfy your soul? And once again, this can totally work. You don't have to always travel with your partner, but what is it for you? This isn't about everyone else. It's getting really clear on what are my non-negotiables. And once you write out that list, it's starting to invite those questions into the conversations of when you're dating and seeing, okay, and when there is oh, that's not aligned, can you communicate and find where you can actually see each other and meet in the middle and make it still work? Or is it they're totally against it? So seeing their level of adaptability and flexibility is also really important because that's one of the most essential skills of a relationship. Because you're always going to need to be able to compromise in some ways, but most importantly, just find a way where you both, it's a win-win, because we need to feel that harmony in our relationships. Another huge element is joy. Do you have fun with this person? Instead of, I still believe in writing your huge manifestation list of all the things you want and creating your vision board, which you can get for free when you download my guide, which is so fun. It's this beautiful relationship. You can see all the pictures, a relationship vision board, and all these things. However, there's so much more to divine timing, to God's plan, the universe's plan for who your lover is versus your small little mind and perception of what you think your divine lover is. And yes, we do mostly have a pretty good sense. However, I can tell you the amount of times that my clients and friends have come in and said, I never thought this would be my person. And I'm so grateful that I trusted in God's guidance and in the universal signs that, whoa, this actually is my person. It's greater than I could have ever imagined. They didn't look like I thought they would look, but who cares? That's not even the most important thing. And yes, there's still like attraction, but anyway, so those lists are important. But what's even more important is the energy. So do you enjoy your time with them? Are you giggling and laughing? Because I don't know about you, but that's extremely important for me. And if you're tapped into living the most joyful, abundant life, joy and peace are at the top frequencies that we possibly can reach in this lifetime. So if that energy is not present with this person, that's another huge indicator that, all right, this might not be my person, because I want to be having a grand old time and being silly willy gillies and just playful. And our inner childs are constantly coming out. Like, that is the most fun. And that's how my last relationship was. And I loved it so much. There was so much play and safety that our children could come out. So that's a huge indication. as well. I'm talking so much so fast. I'm getting so excited because I just love, obviously. That's why I do this work. And let's see, what's another really good indication for this healthy, good love? I think another one of the most important things, hands down, in every relationship is your communication. Are you able to communicate and be received and be heard and find resolutions? Communication is also so heavily coupled in with conflict. Conflict, I don't like this word resolution, but it just keeps coming. So, are you able to move through conflict together? Because conflict is going to happen in all of your partnerships. If you're having conflict in this relationship, it doesn't mean that this person is wrong. It's good. It's part of life to have conflict. However, what you need to assess is, are we finding deeper intimacy after a conflict? Because really, conflict is a portal for deep intimacy. I always found that especially with my last lover. Every time we had these big conversations or this little, boop, boop part of our relationship, as soon as we communicated through it, oh my God, there's the love that just whoosh rushed through, and we were so connected and to new depths of connection we haven't even felt before. So that is really, really important. And let me just say that you can bring this in, if you're already in a partnership, into that dynamic too, because that's something that I wasn't taught how to communicate well at all. So I grew up with a single father, only child, and I love my dad, but he's a carpenter, swears, he's bipolar, like he doesn't have the emotional capacity. And so I didn't get to learn from him, and most of us don't get to learn because it's not taught in school as it should be, and I know it will be one day. However, you can shift any relationship by changing this alone, is your communication. It is the most important part of a relationship, I think, because everything is connected to it. So having those really vulnerable conversations, really speaking what's on your heart from a place of how you feel versus projecting, criticizing, blaming, nagging, because that is going to push anyone away. Think about when that happens to you. That doesn't invite you to open up your heart. Whereas when you come from what you just said really stung, and I would love to know what you actually meant by that, or can you say that in a different way so I can hear it and it doesn't hurt so bad? And that's just a tiny example, but when you invite this kind of energy in, it creates this space of safety where you guys can actually find out what's happening. Because you got to remember, you're a human that's had your whole life of human experiences and memories and events and trauma and all these things, and right across from you is another human that's had their entire whole personal life of their own experiences and their own lessons and their own teachings that are gonna be different than yours. So you're never gonna find a person that has the same exact point of view as you, perspectives, stories, beliefs. So when you can bring the humanness back into your relationship and recognize, oh, they're just doing the best they can. They're not trying to hurt me, which is a huge thing that I struggled with too, is remembering you're on the same team. So can I take a second to take a deep breath, to hold myself so that I can be present in this conversation and hear, what are they actually meaning here? Because so often the first thing we say isn't the depth, or we're misunderstanding it. So we need to get clarity of what's happening here. And also, why is, for instance, one of my needs not being met? Like, what's the disconnect? And having these conversations. So when you're dating someone, how does the conversations feel? Are you really going deep? And can you start to bring in deeper conversations? Can you start to bring in deeper topics? Can you really share when they did something that didn't feel good, or they crossed your boundary, and do they respect your boundaries? And once again, it's like, if they crossed your boundary and disrespect it, it doesn't mean that they're not your person, but can you have a conversation and figure out what's happening here? And then is there the resolution? Like, after you talk about it, is there actual action steps from both parties that are being taken? And again, you don't have to give up right away. However, say, hey, what's going on? Why isn't this moving forward? And if it's still not moving forward, then maybe this person isn't for you. But then if it is, it's like, oh, okay. And can you feel that connection happening? Because love is an endless flow, my loves. It is whoosh, it is pouring, it is water falling. It's always trying to come through us in this large amount. However, every time we have, it's just like the classic river analogy. When there's rocks in it, the water, the love is going to flow a lot slower. So it takes these conversations to remove these rocks, these points of conflict, these points of tension. And as soon as you do, it's like whoosh, truly just like, wow, this love that's why you guys are together comes back in and fills you guys up. And this is what love is. This is the main energy of what you should be feeling, this peace and connection. So does that happen when you're communicating with this person? So I think these are like the main parts of finding and feeling into if this is someone that you really want to be with for a long time, and it's this healthy love. And the last thing I will say is if you're someone like me that wants a family and wants to create babies, do you see this person as the father or mother of your children? Straight up, is this someone that you want to be a partner in life with, a parent with? Like, is this someone you want to raise your children? This is so important to assess. And yes, of course, everyone can change, and it's not that you're gonna have kids right away necessarily, but do you see that happening? And that's just a question you need to ask yourself, because it's really important if you want to have kids. Because I am a huge, like, one of the biggest reasons I do this work is to make sure that more children have safe environments so that they can be kids, because I didn't get to be a kid when I was younger. I had to be an adult child, and it's not, I don't want that for other people. And so I hope that you don't want that for your future babies as well. Do you want to be a part of an extraordinary trip of a lifetime where you'll be surrounded by open-minded, fun, and inspiring humans from around the world? You'll be in a space that is so safe you can express all of you, not have to hide or hold back the tears or the weird accents you love to do. The amount of unconditional love you will feel will make you feel unstoppable. You'll be in a tropical paradise surrounded by beauty in the Balinese jungle. Every day you'll eat delicious, healthy meals cooked by a local chef, and instead of cleaning up after, you'll head to the glass sauna and relax. You love growing and are ready to leap into the unknown and connect deeper to your spirituality. At the end of the week, you'll leave feeling like the weight of the world has been lifted off your shoulders. You'll be smiling ear to ear and feel as light as a feather. I will take care of all of your needs for a week at the all-inclusive Alive to Enjoy retreat this December 2nd through 10th. You can book a call with me, Lexy, at alivetoenjoy.com/retreats. And I swear this will be hands down the best way to end 2023. All genders are welcome, and all people who are here to make this world a better and brighter place. And then if you're in a relationship, it's assessing some of the things basically everybody talked about. It's the communication is such a big element where you're checking in with the values and knowing that in love, we do change. And that's one of the things we can't control. So if you're someone that's on the self-growth journey, which is a lifelong journey, is this person also on it, or are they stagnant? And that is okay if they are. However, if you're actually on this without pressuring them and they're not joining you, then maybe it's not your person. Or let's say you're growing 100 times faster than they are. Well, is that satisfying you? Is there any ways that there's something can shift? Can you bring in more acceptance? Or if it's not working for you, then it's not aligned. Because you're either on it or you're not. And anyone can change at any point. I've seen it at every age. I've seen people get married at 70 years old. It's not an age thing, it's a choice thing. And it's not a pressuring anyone to make that choice either, because that's definitely not going to work. However, is it satisfying you right now? And is that a deal breaker for you? Because for me, that's 100,000,000% a deal breaker. I am always growing. I'm always learning. I'm always bettering myself. Anytime my partner would bring up something, boom, I'm going to make sure that I I shift that and I move some things around because I am not trying to hurt them. This is why I do this work, because I do not like hurting people. It is the worst feeling in the world. I actually despise of it. It's so uncomfortable and it's never my intention. However, it is my responsibility to shift my generational patterns, beliefs, the things I've been carrying, the societal programming I've received. It's my responsibility to change it. And although I didn't mean to hurt someone, I have to do the work to make sure I stop hurting people. So I will forever grow so that I can bring more love, more harmony, more peace, and more joy into this world. So I know that I need that in my partnership. And sometimes you hear this where someone, let's say they've been in a relationship 15 years and then their partner, no, then they decide, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to make some changes. And they just take it. They go off and their partner is not moving. And it's been 5 years now and they're still not moving. Well, is that actually satisfying you? And checking in with that. Another element, if you're in the love, is how safe do you feel? It's the same thing in your body. Are you feeling like it's so relaxed? And it's not that you're always gonna feel relaxed. However, do you go to them to comfort you? Do they actually bring this like home, this sense of home? This is the kind of relationships I help people bring into this world, is your partner feels like home. It feels like an exhale. They feel like the safest sanctuary you could go to. If that is not present, once again, we can work through everything. There's nuances in everything. However, is that the vibe or not? And, and if you want to work on it, are they willing to work on it too? This is another huge piece, is things are always right. There's always going to be stuff moving in our relationships. Like I said, the safer it is, the more stuff that comes up. Are they willing to also put in the same amount of effort that you are? And it doesn't need to be tit for tat. However, they also need to participate in this because there's two people in it. I will say though, if you drastically change, and for instance, I've been learning so much about how to love men and how most of us have been doing it wrong, and how little. Oh, it makes me so sad how the smallest portion of men are actually being loved in the ways that they need to be loved. But we treat men like women and we just don't understand them. So if you start to learn some new techniques and more about yourself, and you start treating your partner a completely different way in the ways they actually need and desire to be treated, then by you shifting can actually shift so much in the dynamic without them actually doing anything. So that is also an option. However, if it's something where you both really need, but as they always say, like, we have so much responsibility in our dynamics, and I'm not at all blaming anyone. However, my personal philosophy is I take full accountability and responsible for my side. I know that if I'm being shown this in my partnerships, I have something that I need to work on. If I am continuously attracting this kind of man, then okay, it's not all men are this way. It's I'm bringing this out of them, or I am allowing this, or there's something here, but it's a me problem. It's not a them problem. And yes, of course, they have plenty of their own problems. We all have our own problems. However, when we shift and take responsibility of everything we possibly can, you will definitely see a shift in the people that are coming into your life. I guarantee it. I've seen it with the friends I've attracted. I see it with the men I attract now. I only attract amazing, incredible men. And of course, there's still pieces I'm working on as well. However, there has been a giant shift of the men that come into my life, and I no longer am hit on all the time by these fuck boys and by men that are just not worth my time. I used to attract those all the time. I have shifted, and so my energy has shifted, so I attract a different energy. Anyways, so that's another element. And now I want to talk a little bit about how when this love comes, this healthy divine love is in our life, how we subconsciously push it away a little bit because it's the real. And when the real is there, that's actually a lot more scary than having a relationship that is going to be short term, because your heart isn't in the game. And when your heart isn't in the game, it's like, whatever, this can go whenever. It's still going to hurt, but it is not anywhere near a risk or a depth of fear and grief that you're going to feel when you're in a love that could be potentially the father of your children, the mother of your children, or the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Obviously, we have no control over that, but the deep desire to actually have that and feel that's actually possible, because the other person is also feeling the same way, and it's not just this fantasy where you've made up this whole future vision with someone where that's actually not going to happen, because it's not aligned and it's not reciprocal, and they're not even considering that. So when it's two people coming with both their hearts ready to put it on the line and go all in, whoa, let me tell you, whoa. If you haven't experienced this yet, it is a whole other level of, oh my gosh, of vulnerability and holding yourself and sensations. There's so many sensations that come up, and the fear gets really loud, and your mind starts to try to protect yourself and not take that big risk, and you might notice yourself closing your heart. You might not notice yourself pulling away. You might notice that you're actually running away from the thing you desire so deeply. And this is because it is, like I said, it's one of the most, I believe, the most courageous act you can do in this lifetime is go all in, two people going all in love. And you can see this showing up, the fear, the self-sabotage of, you start doubting all the things. You start thinking that it's going to go wrong at every second, because of probably something that's happened in your past. You want to pull away because you're starting to feel a lot of sensations. You really feel that they're with you and they're ready for this journey, and so are you. And yet at the same time, it's this overflow of emotions because your heart is more open than it's ever been. And when your heart is more open than it's ever been, you know what that means? You are gonna feel it all to the depths of it all. And that is something that scares the shit out of most people. Like, having an open heart sounds all cute and fun, but in reality, it's fucking crying on the floor, hyperventilating, sitting in a puddle of your tears. It's also the amount of pleasure that you couldn't even ever fathom possible, and holding these crazy amounts of pleasure and bliss. It's the holding everything. It's just the whole spectrum. An open heart means you are here to feel it all, to experience life in aliveness to its full capacity. So yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, that's also means you're gonna feel the most fear you've ever felt. You're gonna feel the deepest grief you've ever felt, and that's part of the ride, like I said. So when you're confronted with it and it's there, whoo, your body's like, oh, are we really gonna do this? Like, this is a lot. I'm already feeling a lot just by committing to this. Like, the sensations are starting to overflow because this is it. I'm about to hop in and say yes to this ride. And it is one hell of a ride. And I think it's the most beautiful journey of this lifetime. I will never stop talking about how amazing love is. When you're in this kind of love, it just, you two are this like co-creation of infinite magic. When there's two people harmonized together, the way that your whole life will shift, and the amount of abundance that will come in, and the way you two together can co-create so much more than you could have done on your own. Yes, you can do so much on your own, but two people coming together is the most powerful thing. And just the love, and there's so much that comes from it. So yeah, although that, like I said, it sounds all good, it's scary. And when you finally say I love you, right? When that drops in, and you're both there and you're like, I love you, then the doubt starts to creep in again. And just know that when that's coming, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is the wrong person. That's just fear talking. And this is why it's important to understand your body on a subtle level, and once again have that support, because my clients will talk back and forth and we realize, oh no, this is just fear. It's not meant for you to run away. And a lot of people don't know this because a lot of people haven't experienced this level of love. A lot of people have not been role modeled this level of love. So one thing I want you to do is to start to look for evidence of how this love exists in the world. There are so many beautiful unions. There's so many beautiful relationships. And I want you to start to focus on those rather than all those that are wrong, because there's a lot of those too. So when we're in this state and we're like, okay, I love you, and they say, I love you, then the doubt of, wait, is this really the person I want to spend the rest of my life with? Oh my gosh, this is the person. Whoa, that's scary in itself, right? It's like, whoa, this is actually happening. Everything I've always desired, it's here. This is this is it, and that has a whole another level of things to move through, sensations to feel. And it's funny because it's always this. It's like we always want these things, and when they come, we're like, wait, wait, it's here. What do I do now? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. And it's exciting, and it's also terrifying. And the thoughts of, am I making the right choice? Am I sure? Is this really it? Is there something better? Like blah blah blah. The mind is wild, and the doubt doesn't make you wrong. The doubt is always going to be there. It's just part of how our minds work. However, this is your chance to lean in, and this is not your chance to run away. If we're both parties, you're feeling all the other things, it's good. It's a good. This is actually healthy. This is your chance to feel like, can I receive this right now? Can I receive this gift of love that I've always dreamed of? And can I say yes to the biggest, most courageous yes of my life, because you have zero control. Love is not something you get to control. It is a yes to the surrender and to the unknown. When you say yes to this person, that's the journey you're dedicating yourself to, because you guys are going to ebb and flow. And like I said, we don't know what's going to happen. However, all you get to do is be all in, and all they get to do is be all in. And you get to commit to loving this person day in and day out, which I've already said, but that's how it is. So when that realness starts to lock in, and your body it all starts to align, and you're realizing, whoa, this is the real deal. It's okay that the fear is there. That's actually quite normal, especially if you've never had a healthy relationship in your life. It's terrifying. It is terrifying. And that's why that avoidant anxious dynamic plays out so much, because a lot of us haven't had that secure love, but we can create that. Everyone can create and have the most romantic love, this endless romance. This is what I take people on the journey of endless romance, because that is what love is. It's this container of of just beauty and play and comfort and safety and this home-like feeling. And when that realness sinks in, it's scary, because then there's also the thoughts of, am I going to fuck this up? What if I do something wrong? What if they realize I'm not the one? Da, 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 da. And it's okay to have those feelings. So just know that this is part of it. And it's such a beautiful thing. And guess what? If you get it wrong, that's also okay. This whole concept of twin flames and the one is quite harming to us, because that creates a sense of pressure and a bunch of self-shame. If it doesn't go right and this doesn't work out with this person, then you are stuck thinking that you fucked up your entire life, when that is not the case. I fully wholeheartedly believe in seeing time and time again, even if you were with your best possible match and they pass away, you've seen it. People fall in love again and they find another beautiful union. So it doesn't mean that there's one only person for you. However, of course, I believe there is a person, there's tiers of people, and I think there is one person that's really aligned with you. And I also think there's so many things you can gain out of different relationships, and of course, some are going to bring so much more, and also you can create that in so many relationships too, that you'd have never expected it to, because I believe we can make it work with anyone. However, there's people that will be a lot easier and a lot more aligned. So trusting in that, if let's say you do this, you open, you go all in, and then it doesn't work, it's okay. You got to start over again. It sucks. You're going to feel so much pain. Let me tell you how much pain I've felt in the past 4 months during this uncoupling that I've been through. Oh my, you guys, I have not been okay. And also I have simultaneously been okay. The not okay is part of it. And I'm willing to feel all of that, because I am willing to receive the greatest love of this lifetime. I'm willing to be an inspiration for others of the kind of love that you get to have. I'm willing to make history and the beauty of my family I'm going to create, and what is possible. I am so willing to do that, which means I am so willing to go to the darkest depths of my soul and every single sensation and emotion that is present. because I know that I'm gonna be in this union. I know it's gonna come. I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know who, but I know it's coming. And I'm gonna just keep trusting in the divine, in the universe, following the signs, letting myself be guided, letting myself be provided for, and letting myself receive my own love, receive my own pleasure, so that I can bring this to my relationship, letting myself become the safest space for my king, for my man, for my husband, letting myself become the best possible wife he could ever have. That is something I want to be. And even another thing too is creating myself to be the best mother. Like, these are the things I'm working on as I'm single, so that when that comes, let's go. And like I said, it's still gonna have a bunch we're gonna work through together. However, in the meantime, might as well continue to do these things within myself, and to trust that, okay, if this doesn't work out with the next person, even though I really feel the next person is going to be it, if it doesn't work out, I know there's someone else. And I just keep believing in that. And these beliefs are really essential for finding this love, because as soon as you give up, then it's going to be hard, really, really hard. And your heart's going to be closed. And when your heart's closed, of course, it's still possible. However, you're really shrinking the the size of allowing that to happen in your life. And the more open you are, the quicker and the more easy it can flow to you, because that energy of receptive, when the door is closed, right? You're not going to necessarily walk in. When the door is open, you're going in. And of course, we can open the door, and there's always ways. I'm not black and white by any means, but you know what I'm saying, right? Okay. That's it for today. I hope that you guys love this episode. I just wanted to share my heart on this, because I've been seeing and feeling this a lot. And I want you to know that this love, like, if you're with me right now, if you're trying to call on this grand, huge, romantic, soul nourishing, safe, home-like love, it is also going to be a scary, not a scary, I don't want to say scary, but it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a ride. It's going to be everything. It's going to be work. There's going to be conflict. It's going to include all that. However, it's also going to have this foundation, this sturdiness, this security, this safety. There's going to be elements in here, and those will deepen even more with time. And your pleasure is going to deepen more with time too. Like, if your sexual intimacy isn't aligning at first, that still doesn't mean it's not the right person. I just helped someone who her partner wasn't able to get hard. And to me, that just showed me that he hasn't felt safe. And there's been things that have happened in his past loves. And I kid you not, within 2 months, they are having the best sex either of them have ever had. And he's able to stay hard for long periods of time. They're able to have multiple times a day, when before they were having sex maybe once a week, and he wasn't even able to stay hard. So that doesn't mean that just means to me that there is emotional things happening in his body. So anyways, I just want to it is my responsibility to help more people, as many people as I can, bring this divine aligned love, this love that you've truly always dreamed of, that deep down in your heart you knew was possible, and that you crave and that you yearn. It's like good. So let me know how this landed, what parts stood out to you. If there's anything you don't agree with, send me a message. I love to talk about it all. And if you're wanting to go on a journey with me and have some support, I have my program, Endless Romance, which is a 1-to-1 cocoon where we journey together for 6 months to help you create that safety within your body, so you can find that really safe love, so that you can know how to communicate in every single kind of situation, so you can declare your needs and you can be heard and be received. And you can also be the best lover that they have ever had, that you can have a romance that is daily, where the honeymoon phase doesn't end, but it is a continuous cycle. It is the vibe of your relationship. That being romantic is not something that's just like, whoa, big thing. It's actually so simple. It's in the little moments. It's in the presence. It's in the thoughtfulness. It's in the way you touch each other. It's something that gets to be a vibe. So if you're romantic and you are single, or you are in a relationship and you want to deepen that love, or you want to find this endless romance, then send me an email, message me on Instagram, Alive to Enjoy. And I'd absolutely love to support you. And if not, just continue to listen to Heart Snuggles. We're here every week, and I'm so freaking grateful for you. I'm sending you a big heart cuddles, and I hope to hear from you soon. It's such a pleasure that you say yes to listening to this episode. It really brings me so much. It was such a dream of mine to have a podcast, so it still is like a pinch me moment that I have this. So I'm really grateful for you, and I am blessing you with love miracles. Just open your heart really quickly. Open your arms. If you're not driving, of course, please do this in a safe setting. Open your arms and just receive an input of love. I'm just sending you so much love in this moment. And breathing that deep into your heart, deep into your belly, and exhaling, sigh it out. And I want you to just imagine that the most romantic thing happens to you this week, even if it's from a friend or it's from a stranger, it's from yourself. Just let yourself receive this for a moment and start to be in this frequency, and let it maybe bring a smile to your face because it feels so good receiving this. Ooh, okay, you can open your eyes. Have an amazing day. I send you all my love. You made it to the end of the episode, so now it's time for our snuggly heart breath of the day. Place a hand or both hands, if it's safe to do so, over your heart, and take a big breath into your heart center. Open your mouth and let it go. I'm so grateful to have shared this time with you. If you enjoyed this combo, please share with your besties and your fam. And if you're a visual person like me, fly over to YouTube and watch the video. If you want to do a random act of kindness today, please leave a 5-star review so more people in the world can get their heart snuggled. You're helping tremendously when you do this, so thank you so much. And as a gift for doing so, I'll give you my Soften Your Heart Medi that feels like an exhale and a hug from within. When you leave a review and email me the screenshot to heartsnuggles@alivetoenjoy.com, you can also find the email in the show notes and you'll get the free meditation. Sending you the warmest, comfiest hug and lots of unexpected blessings your way. Remember that every single person just wants to be loved. So how can you be loved today?